It's so long since I made a YouTube video. It's been like, what, I think a year or two. I can't even remember. That's how long it is. But as you can see by the title, I have some very exciting news to share, and I'm very excited to share my journey and my story with you guys and see where this brings us, and see what the future is going to hold for us, because we're doing this together. As you can see by the title, I'm in a new place. I moved out of my mom's house. I have my own apartment now, and I just wanted to give a life update since the last video, because I think it's the least I could do. So, and the whole thing about me moving is it was very unplanned. I didn't plan all this. It just happened, and I just thank God that He let me do this, and He was there with me throughout this whole journey, because it wasn't easy, and I'm going to explain in depth later on in the video. The year started off last year was very much a learning year, and this year I just want to better myself. So I even made what's it called? I made a life plan, not a life plan, a mood board for this year, a 2025 mood board, and I made that, and I was I'm gonna put a lot of things on this list, which I want to achieve in this year. And you guys, so far some of those things have actually come to pass, and I'm very happy about it because I've always been a hardworking person. I always try to bring the perfection out of myself, but you trying very hard to bring the perfection out of yourself, it's going to break sometimes. I started off this year with the intention of what, anything that happens just happens. I learned so much last year that I'm very happy about, that I even went through a lot of stuff last year so I can better myself. And I was what, this year I'm just gonna let it happen. In January, actually in December, I decided I wanted to move out, but I wasn't really sure. And then in January, I started the process. So in January, I started the process, and then I actually stopped moving. I actually stopped looking for an apartment because I had some issues with my family, not problematic issues, just health issues. Someone in my family has a health problem, so I focused on my family most of the time. So I was what, let me just start the process of me looking for an apartment and just focus on my family for now. I'm glad I did that because it really took some time of me to think about some stuff, really think if I want to do this, because moving out, you can say that you want to move out, but you have to you have to actually want it to move out. You actually have to do it. Just saying it is fun. It's you can say, oh, I just want to move out. Well, that's fun, but you actually have to move out as well. I was what, let me just stop this whole process and just focus on my family. And then when everything is better, because I knew everything was gonna get better, because the God that I serve doesn't fail. And I was what, let me just stop the whole process and just focus on my family, and then later on I can just go back to starting the process of moving out and looking for an apartment. The whole thing looking for an apartment was not easy. I knew it was not easy because I actually tried it before at a younger age. I'm 23 now, and I was trying to move out when I was 19. I'm glad I didn't do it when I was 19, because if I did, I would have made a lot of mistakes. I'm so glad that I just matured in later on in life to focus on myself and to really think that if I do this, it's gonna affect me later on. If I really did that at a young age, at 19 years old, I would have been so lost with so many things. I wouldn't even know how to properly take care of my apartment, because taking care of your apartment reflects on how you feel. I was looking day in and day out, you guys, after work, before work, going to bed, waking up, on the metro, in the car, at the park, at the shopping mall. Every single time I was looking for an apartment, I found some apartments, and I was what, I want this. But later on, if you have an apartment, if you have student housing, if you have anything by yourself, looking for by yourself, it's very hard to actually find something, and actually go to it. You have to look in the apartment itself. And I did that a couple of times, and I knew I wasn't going to get the one that I actually wanted. And I was what, let me just, it's fine. We just move. Okay, got 2 apartments that I actually wanted, but I couldn't get it because the first one already got taken while it was still on the website, and the other one I went to look for it actually, and I was like, you know what, this is cozy, it's cute, it's nice. The neighbor was really questionable a little bit. That's something I'm going to talk about that later, guys. If you want to live alone, I'm going to share tips that you actually have to write down and know before you actually move into your apartment, before you go looking, before you do anything, any of that sort, you know? So the one that had like a questionable neighborhood, it was nice, it was cute, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like, you know, send the whole form of me applying for that apartment, you know, because you have to like apply for that apartment, you have to like, you know, share your like reviews and everything, blah blah blah, all that boring stuff that I actually didn't want to do, but I actually had to do it because otherwise I wouldn't be in this apartment, you know. So this was like in February. Then in February I started looking again, looking again, and then I found one. And here's actually the story how I got my apartment. So I looked on the website and it said like it had like a separate bathroom, separate bedroom, separate toilet room, and I was like, you know what, this is nice, let me just look for it and send in like an application that I want to come view it. So I went, and the first thing, you guys, when I met these people, they were super nice. They were super nice. I explained my situation to these people and they were so nice, they were so friendly, and I was like, you know, this is my situation and this is why I want to move out, and this is like, you know, the things that I am like worried about, the things that I am not worried about, you know. I was like just having a normal conversation with them, and you guys have a conversation with the people that you're going to view for your apartment, like the people that are, you know, giving you the whole room tour. Talk to them, see how they vibe, see how you're vibing with them. If your spirit tells you no, if your feelings tell you no, then don't do it, you know. I also would recommend bringing somebody with you, because if they say something and you don't quite understand, somebody can actually explain it for you who has like a better view of understanding, who also lives alone. Actually, it doesn't matter if you live alone or not, they can also live at home, it doesn't really matter. But if you don't understand and you know they say something and you actually don't agree with it, you can actually have like a third person, like a second person with you to actually like, you know, explain your situation better and see if this is a right fit for you. I came here alone, by the way. I came here and I was like, you know what, this is actually very nice. This is actually super nice. But I came for the apartment that I actually wanted, and then I went to look for 2 other apartments who are also in the same neighborhood. But those other 2 weren't actually like my type of style. They weren't like really my vibe, and I was like, you know what, this is nice, but somebody else can actually like, you know, be happy with it, not for me. That's fine. And then I went to look for the apartment I actually wanted, and then the person who was like, you know, giving me the whole room tour told me, oh, you know, this apartment, a lot of people actually viewed it and they actually want it. So if you want this, you actually have to apply for it, like, you know, with the whole like, you know, paperwork and everything, blah blah. So the chances of me getting this apartment were actually very slim, and I was like, you know what, you can never go wrong with just trying. So I just tried, and you know what, I was just like, you know what, I'm just leave it to God. That's it. The apartment tour ended. I keep saying room tour, excuse me, it's actually an apartment tour. So the apartment tour ended, and then the man told me that, oh, there is this studio that is available, but nobody knows about it. And it's also not on the website, so if you want to come look for it, you can view it. And I was like, you know what, let me just go look and see what it is, you know, because you never can go wrong with just looking, you know. So I came into my apartment, and at first I was like, this is very small. What the fuck am I gonna do with this? Excuse my language, but what am I gonna do with this? Like, this is not for me. I do not like studios at all, guys, you know? This is a disclaimer, I did not like studios until I am in my own studio apartment. Like, this is very small. What am I gonna do with this? Mind you, you guys, I had no knowledge of decorating, no knowledge of like ordering like furniture, no knowledge of anything, no knowledge of nothing. You know, I was doing this by myself. I didn't even tell my parents, I didn't even tell my friends. Only a few selected people knew that I was moving, who could actually help me move my stuff from my mom's house to this place, and that was it. I didn't have any knowledge whatsoever. I would recommend telling somebody who has like, you know, experience or knows a lot of the stuff of, you know, having an apartment or moving and this and that and that and the third, you know. This is very like not me, but I'm gonna just take it into consideration because he told me if I want it, I could get it. Because the other apartment that I actually wanted, a lot of people already viewed it. So they sent their forms and they sent their applications already way ahead of me. So I'm like the last person, you know. I was like, you know what, let me just take it into consideration and just, you know, see what it gives. A week or two passed by and something told me, Graham, call these people and tell them that you want this to your apartment. And I was like, nah, should I? Should I not? Should I? Because something told me already that the apartment that I actually wanted with the separate bathroom, separate bedroom was already taken. And it was already taken. So I called the man and told him, is the studio still available? And he told me yes. When he told me yes, he told me that if you really want it, I can just send the application because you actually have to send your application with like, you know, your with your work and your background and everything, blah 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 blah. All that boring stuff that I'm not interested in. I'm so glad I'm over that stuff. But I was like, oh, okay, if it's available, can I get it? And it was like, yeah, I can actually send the application form that you can actually like, you know, fill in for me to send it to the people to confirm that you actually had the apartment right away. And I was like, yeah, with the quickest, guys, I did it. I did it with the quickest, and that was that. Now we're here. The moving process. The moving process was actually very hard. It was very hard, and I made it hard for myself because why? I told you guys previously that I didn't even tell my parents. I didn't even tell a lot of people that I was moving. I wanted to keep it a secret because moving can be very stressful. I know that. I know moving can be very stressful because when me and my parents moved to my mom's place, it was stressful. It was very stressful. It was something that I did not want to do, but I was so glad I was little and I didn't have any parts in it. But now I'm like, you know, like I'm a grown man. I'm 23 years old. I have to do things by myself, and I'm glad I didn't actually like reach out to my parents to help me move because I didn't want to put the stress on them as well, you know? Moving process was very, very hard because I have a lot of clothes. I have a ton of clothes, you guys, and I brought them all with me to this apartment. And I told myself, all the stuff that I do not wear, I'm just gonna give it away to people who actually need clothes, or I'm just gonna like, you know, throw it away. Why did I bring everything? Well, I actually threw some stuff away, but why did I bring like 80% of my closet into this new apartment? Yeah. The moving process was very hard because, you know, you have to see how your schedule works for you because I was working almost like every other day, and then I had to like come here and like clean up and, you know, make sure everything was okay. I had like, you know, appointments like with the district center and everything. Like it was just so much to do. Once I got the confirmation that I could actually move in, and also me getting my key was also like a lot of stress because yeah. You guys, yeah, it was just very stressful. Then we're gonna go over to the furniture. You guys, order your furniture way up front before you actually move in. If you have the opportunity to buy furniture, to even purchase furniture, and put it in a storage, or put it on hold until you have your key so they can deliver, that is the best way. If you cannot do that, you guys, you're going to be in the most stressful pothole ever because furniture is really something that you have to like really puzzle your way in, and what I mean by that is that you have to see that they can deliver it on the right day at the right time. Because for me, like I said, I was really working every other day, and my bed, my couch, my closet, all those stuff, you guys, it really caused me a lot of stress because I was at work when they would deliver. And then I called them and I told them like, you guys, please, can y'all deliver at another day when I'm free or when I can actually come here, y'all can deliver and then I can go to work, because you guys, it's very stressful. It's very, very stressful. The couch that I'm sitting on right now, it really took a long time to deliver it. I think it was like about 3 or 4 weeks until they delivered. And that was their fault. I'm going to be very upfront. I'm going to be very transparent. It was their fault because why? they said on their site they can deliver like 2 to 5 days, which is very like misleading because a couch, okay, there was something wrong, like there was technical issues with like, you know, the delivery company and stuff, because the site that I ordered it from, they work with a delivery company, and the delivery company, they were the one who actually took a long time to deliver my couch. So it was very, very difficult. If you're somebody who is planning on moving, please look for different sites, different places you can go and see the couch, or see like, you know, whatever you want to order, whatever you want to purchase, to a day that you're actually free, you know. And now we're gonna go over to actually me moving here. So me moving here, it really was weird because this is my first time actually being alone, because I've always, like, you know, lived with my mom and my family, and me and my family are like close, like we're very close. So me moving here and, like, you know, leaving my siblings behind and leaving my mom behind was really weird for me, because I was like, I'm not gonna see her every single day. I'm going to be by myself every day. And if I tell y'all the story, when I was like 19, I wanted to move out because, you know, it was really like causing me very much distress at home. It was causing me not to focus. It was causing me not to love myself. It was causing me to hate, and, like, you know, all the mixed emotions in one pot, and it can literally explode. So I was young then. I really didn't understand you know, the purpose of life, or I still don't understand the purpose of life. Like, you know, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, because me living here doesn't mean that I have everything, like I have all my shit together. That doesn't mean that. It's still really difficult. It's still a whole process. It's still figuring out what I'm gonna do. It's still figuring out if I want to do this. It's still figuring out if I can actually handle this for the coming months, you know, because moving out is fun. Having your own place is fun. It's nice, it's cozy, it's calm, it's your own space, it's your own bubble, it's your own everything, you know. But it's also humbling. It's really humbling, you know. It really humbled me in a way that I didn't think it would humble me, you know. I always thought like, oh, me moving out, I'm gonna have my own place, I'm gonna throw parties, I'm gonna have like a lot of people over, I'm gonna create a space for a lot of people to come over to my place. But all those things just went out the window once I actually moved here and actually lived here. And I've been living here for like 2 months, going on for 3. And most of the time I'm actually, like, you know, always doing something. I love, you know, making content. So content is going to be very much happening in this apartment for me, and I'm very happy to share it with you guys. And yeah, it's very nice to come to your own place that you decorated. Like, I decorated my apartment based on me. If people look at my apartment, they know it's me. If people look at me, they know it's my apartment, you know? But back to what I was saying when I was like, you know, 19. It was a whole process of me moving out, but I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't have like a stable job. I didn't have anything right, you know? Like, life was just very much like a joke at that point. But now I'm 33. I have went through a lot of stuff, positive, negatively, and, you know, me coming here, the first 2 months was difficult. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna say, oh, when I moved here it was like, you know, all colors and fun and glitter and glamour. No, it was very difficult. It was very humbling. Like I said, it was very like, you know, this is a life lesson. This life is actually starting right now, you know. Oh, and for disclaimer, I told my parents that I was going to move here after I got my key, and they were very supportive. They were very like happy that I got my own place. I almost see them every other day. I also speak to them every other day. I think our relationship has actually gone better. Because if you have African parents, you can testify that sometimes African parents can be a handful because they don't even know what they're doing, and, you know, having kids for them is also like the first time but, you know, we're not gonna go deeper into that, but if you can testify, you can testify. me moving here the first 2 months was very difficult because emotionally I wasn't really prepared. I wasn't really prepared. I was like, you know what, let me just come here and see what life brings me. It was very difficult for me emotionally because I was like, you know, this is very hard a little bit because I'm alone, and I always want to be alone. I always want like a quiet space. I always want like a quiet, you know, space for myself. And I didn't have that at home. So now that I have that for myself, it's like, you know, I'm here by myself. I have to do things for myself, and I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of my apartment. I have to take care of myself. And you guys, once you notice that you're slipping away, please go back to your routine. Create a routine, because people advise me that I had to create a routine. And I'm so glad I have like a routine now and know what I'm gonna do. Even if I don't have a routine, even if you don't have a routine, know what you're gonna do, because you cannot, you know, just wake up and just like open the box and be like, you know, like everything just have to flow or come out of the box. No, you have to create a routine. And what I'm saying is not like you have to create rules per se, but if this is your first time, you're not gonna know what you're gonna do. Like for me, like take me an example, I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm gonna do. I still don't know what I'm doing right now, you know? But it's little by little, process by process, brick by brick, you're going to know what you're going to do, and everything's going to be okay. We're 2 months in. I got all the support, I got all the love, I got all the, you know, comfort, and, you know, I got all the support. People come over, they laugh, they eat, they eat, they go, and, you know, just having fun. And I am just very happy that I can share this with you guys. And me moving means also more content. I'm not going to tell that I'm going to like post every other week, but YouTube is going to be something that I'm going to work on consistently from now on, because I'm now in my own space. I have more time, I have more open space to create more content for you guys. There are actually a lot of things that I have on my schedule that I want to put out there on my YouTube channel. So I'm very happy that we're going to start a new journey, and that I gave you guys an update on life, on how I'm doing, and see where this is gonna bring us. So you guys, I'm very happy that you watched throughout the whole video. I hope I give a lot of ideas and tips, and you know, I hope my story can reach out to you if you want to move out. Just know it's a whole process, you know. Moving out is a whole process. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen over time. Moving out is a whole process, you know. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I give you a lot of ideas on how to move out, or like what you want to do, or like even if you don't know what you're gonna do, just know it's a process. You know, it's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen like in a quick second, in a split second, or in 10 minutes, in 5 minutes, in 2 days. It's a whole process, you know. It's a whole process. Just take it slow, breathe in, breathe out, reach out to people that you want to reach out to, receive tips, receive ideas, because it's very helpful. Even if you think it's going to be like very unnecessary, it's very, very important that you are very, very calm. Know what you're gonna do. Don't rush into things. The first thing that you see is not the first thing that you're gonna get. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. The journey is about to start, and I hope I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, because if you want to stay, you gotta stay. If you want to leave, you gotta leave. But I wish you want to stay. Okay? So yeah.